All right, so now that we know Kevin Stefanski is the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, let's find the bright side. Let's talk about it.
Ain't been tight, never known curfews. Sunday night quiet, I ain't even out my church shoes. I done been white, premarital guessing perfumes. Psychoing a lot, they keep asking me who hurt you. Dreaded for diapers, ain't that some shit? You think buying beers and pacifiers made me a pacifist? There's a list of asses that I like to whip in this timeline.
Hey, yo, what's up? Welcome to Sports Talk Football, where we talk the world of football. And today we are talking about my Atlanta Falcons and finding the bright side to the Kevin Stefanski hiring. Now, myself and some others in the fan base wasn't big on this whole move and hiring everything, and it's happened. So, hey, it is what it is now. But for me, the reason why I wasn't big on the whole move just in general, because I seen this past year of Cleveland Browns football. And just being honest, I tuned in more to see how the Shador play in the pros, just like everybody else did. Whether it was a hater, whether it was a fan, people looked at it to see, okay, hey, how is he going to do it in the pros? And just the situation, I feel like at times his offensive scheme was limited. I feel there needed to be more creativity. With Dylan Gabriel and sometimes Shador, you saw like a lot of the dump passes and stuff like that. It was just wasn't my cup of tea. But, everybody deserves a second chance. And just in general with the situation and, like I said, his winning percentage, I wasn't big on it. 2 winning seasons in 6 years. A lot of people always point towards the ownership, the situation with Deshaun Watson. But at the end of the day, I feel some of that still has to go on the coach, somewhat. He can't just be blameless in the situation. I feel he could have handled that better. It seems like he's not a fan of quarterbacks with personalities. Him and Baker did good in the beginning, went sour. As we saw the other day, Baker still holds a chip on his shoulder. Deshaun Watson, they say he wasn't in on that deal coming over. He wasn't for it. A quarterback that has a decent-sized personality, he's not big on it. Joe Flacco, it worked perfect. Joe Flacco's a real chill, modest guy, not really a big personality, and it worked good. You got Shador. He didn't want Shador to be drafted by the Browns. He rather picked Dylan Gabriel, which some of that question, I question his eye of talent sometimes in that particular situation, because I'm like, I saw Dylan Gabriel 5-6 games. I saw Shador in his 6-7 games. Shador obviously looked like the more talented quarterback, in my opinion. But, so again, Shador, a big personality, he seemed to have a problem with it. And I just don't believe, as a coach, you can't put your feelings above the team. And that's what it seemed like he did. So those are several reasons. And like I said, again, some of his offensive play calling that he was doing, the 2-point conversion situation, and just some of it was very questionable, especially when the game was on the line. I felt like they could have won 2 more games, but bad coaching decisions prevented it. So he's in Atlanta now. He's a Falcon head coach. It is what it is. There is some bright side to having him. I knew after Raheem Morris got fired and the rumors of Matt Ryan coming to Atlanta, I'm like, okay, hey, he's going to be in the front office. Matt Ryan, I feel like he's going to go with the offensive-minded head coach, which to me was perfect. It was perfect. They should have went for an offensive-minded head coach, but I didn't think him. I had Clint Kubiak being the coach in mind. I thought he would bring a fresher, more modern perspective of an offensive scheme to the Atlanta Falcons. He's a young guy. He can grow with our young guys. Michael Penix, Bijan, Drake London. He can grow with them. Our young defense. But like I said, I knew they was going to get an offensive-minded head coach, especially after the rumors came of them denying other teams from looking and interviewing Jeff Albrecht. And they ended up keeping him. So that was a very smart idea. Very smart. But with Kevin Stefanski, you do get somewhat of, like I said, that Kubiak tree. He has worked with Gary Kubiak. He had the father of Clint. He has worked with Brad Childress. I think Kyle Shanahan of some sort. So he does come from that tree or whatnot, to where you do have the wide zone, the play action type of offense that it will definitely work in Atlanta, I felt. Because a lot of his success came when he had that running back like Nick Chubb. We have Bijan. Nick Chubb was a beast. He, was definitely a heavy feature in the offense. I definitely think it's an offense that can open up Kyle Pitts' game even more. He probably had his better season last year that he's had in quite some time. So it could open up him a little bit more. I definitely think it could open up Michael Penix Jr. game as well even more. Everyone thinks he can't play under center. I think he can do it. The play action, I feel, would be great for him too as well. I think, with everything going, in place, it should look good. So that's definitely a bright side. Well, for one, he does bring Bill Callahan, which is offensive line coach and everything like that. He's a pretty legendary offensive line coach and stuff. So he brings that with him as well. So that's a great thing. Not big on the Tommy Rees hiring. I think that was just stupid to me. His offense under him was only 30th, and people will say, "Well, look what he had to deal with." Still 30th though. Nah, I think Matt Ryan should have prevented that. Like, nah, bro, you gotta go ask somebody else. Nah, but unfortunately they did. Hopefully he can prove me wrong in that situation as well. I know he's had some college experience with Alabama and other teams and everything like that too as well. But like I said before, this is a "what have you done for me lately" type of league. So hopefully he can turn that around with the Atlanta Falcons. But like I said, the times where Kevin Stefanski has flourished is when he had a solid run game. We have that. He's had, 3 playoff games, so that's experience that the Falcons don't have right now. We haven't had playoff experience in quite some time. So he's 1-2 in the playoffs. He went there, of course, his first year with Baker Mayfield, a young quarterback, and we saw how the system looked. We saw how, they had Jarvis Landry. I think they had Odell back then, but Odell wasn't quite Odell. But they still had a solid run in the playoffs. They won one game. Then going to 2023, where I think Deshaun was out and Joe Flacco came off the bench. They had a playoff run. They got eliminated first round, but hey, they still got there. And, so he's had experience getting to the playoffs in a division that has, I think, the Bengals, Ravens, and the Steelers. It shouldn't be too hard to get a playoff run with Atlanta. We should have got one last year. I think if our kicking situation was better, we would have at least won 2 more games. We should have got there. I think special team issues too as well. And of course, yes, there was some other, game management that probably prevented some of that too, but I still think we was a good team and situation. But it should be easy for him with a person that has some experience, even though he won 8 games in 2 years, to get this loaded, nice, talented, potential roster to the playoffs. First year. I expect at least 11 wins, me personally. Because when you have the weapons we have and the coaching experience that he brings, the offensive system, that's the main thing that needed to be helped was our offensive scheme, offensive ability. Because Zach Robinson, it was just inconsistent. A lot of things, it just wasn't clicking. You can tell with Michael Penix Jr., like he's a guy who normally has confidence. He normally is, real calm, cool, collected. You can see times last year to where he was hesitant because it just seemed like that the offense just wasn't clicking for him. So hopefully now with the offensive scheme that he can actually go into. Of course, everybody's, he knows he has to come over an injury first, which I think he will. I think Kirk Cousins, he may even stay because he's familiar with the coach and everything, Stefanski. I think he may stay. We'll see. But I definitely think that the Falcons has a lot of room for growth, and they also have a high ceiling. Within 3 years, if Kevin Stefanski does right, I can see a deep playoff run. NFC championship type playoff run. Just saying. I'm an optimistic person, so hey. But let me know what you think. Are you seeing the bright side of having Kevin Stefanski, even though you wasn't for him? Or if you was for him, do you see it? And let us know more bright sides so we can all look at it and be in on this hiring. Because, hey, he's here now. So let's talk about it.
There's a list of asses that I like to whip in this timeline.